Good morning. Welcome to Speaking of Animals. I'm Amy Cartenuto from Flagler Humane Society. I have two guests today. One in the studio with me is the beautiful Angel. Angel is a 7-year-old female spayed. Some of us are calling her a Florida brown dog. That means she's kind of a cross between a yellow lab, a hound, and whatever else you would like her to be. She's probably like a 60-pound-ish girl. She was with us as a puppy and she was adopted out, and unfortunately recently her owner passed away, and the family doesn't have the means to take her, so she's back at the shelter. She's living in our animal care manager's office, so she's doing okay, but she's missing her family and would love a chance at a new family. She's house trained, she's great with all other animals. She's just like, even for like a first time pet owner, she'd be an easy dog. So come to the shelter and see Angel. And without further ado, I want to introduce my human guest who's with us all the way from Colorado. We have Diane Vanderpool from the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you, Amy. It's good to talk to you.
I know. We have known each other quite some time. You were on the Flagler Humane Society Board of Directors when I started there.
Yes, more than 30 years ago.
Oh,
Doesn't seem
goodness.
right, but
Yes.
it is.
Yes. And then you moved to Colorado when?
In 1994.
Wow. So it's been a while. And then how long after you moved to Colorado did you start volunteering with the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center?
It was about 21 years ago now.
Wow. And that has taken over your heart.
Yes, it has. I started there on a volunteer basis, and my free time is spent there, and I enjoy all the aspects of it.
I enjoy seeing your Facebook posts. It looks like a beautiful facility and really beautiful work that you're doing. So tell us a little bit about it. So how did the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center happen?
Well, in 1993, Darlene Kabobel, who is the owner and founder, rescued a wolf dog by the name of Chinook. Chinook was going to be euthanized at a local animal shelter because of the fears people have of wolves, and unfortunately, they do not last in shelters in the state of Colorado. So Darlene had decided when she rescued this dog who was on her way, unfortunately, to be euthanized, Darlene decided to create a wolf hybrid rescue. And a wolf hybrid, the definition is they are part wolf and part dog. So during the first year, she was inundated with many calls every day from around the country because people who decided they wanted to have a wolf all of a sudden realized living with one with other pets was not always a good idea.
Surprise.
That's when she decided, I'm going to go ahead and open up a sanctuary. And this way I can protect these animals and then educate the public. And that's how it got started.
Wonderful. So you joined up with her not very long after they started.
Correct.
Okay.
And I met Darlene because my husband and I stopped at the Wolf Center. He is a woodworker, and we had a mutual friend who said, wow, you should take some of your work up to the Wolf Center. And we went up there. He does a lot of wildlife, by the way, on his woodworking. And we met Darlene, and she said to me, would you like to do a walkabout? And this is at our permanent center, because Darlene had a temporary center prior to that. And we did a walkabout and saw these incredible animals, got to know her story and got to know her. And she then asked me, would you like to be a volunteer? And I said, wow, I would love to be a volunteer. What exactly would I be doing? And she said, I have a very special wolf, and his name is Wakanda, and I would really like him to be walked on a regular basis, so he would have his own wolf walker. And I said, okay. And I then met the majestic, very large, beautiful Wakanda, and it was a love at first sight relationship between him and I.
I'm sure.
He picked me as his person, and he is probably the best animal I have ever walked in my life. He never pulled. He was just a wonderful animal. And that was my introduction to the perils of wolves in the wild and a better understanding of the dynamics and how we need to really educate the public.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it all got started.
Like you said, the people that think it's smart to own a wolf hybrid, there's so many reasons why not to do that. For people that want to bring something like that into their home, it's in some places it's not even legal. Sometimes it depends on the percentage, but tell us some of the reasons why that's not a good idea.
Well, also because a wolf is very leery of people. So if they're in the wild, they're not exactly going to come running up to you if you're hiking or you're taking pictures from your vehicle. They're not going to do any of that. They're going to try to stay away from humans as much as possible. They're not looking to attack anyone or anything like that, whereas dogs are a man's best friend. And when you have a combination of the two, it's kind of like a split. Are they man's best friend and they want to be in the house and lay at your feet or sit on your lap? Or are they supposed to be leery on the outside? I do know some people that have had success with wolf dogs, but it is a lot of training and a lot of commitment, and you also have to make sure you have the right habitat, because they do need a lot of room and a lot of yard especially, and that there is going to be a good relationship with the other animals. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not able to do that, or they become too much, and they are unfortunately then taken to a shelter.
Or like what happened with Angel. Like if an owner passes away, even let's say an owner gets a wolf hybrid, and even if they're able to handle it and make it work, what if something happens to them? That's not something for the average pet owner.
Exactly. They don't have what we call a succession plan and planning for what could happen after. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have that. And with the wolf dog, it's even worse.
Yeah. And I was looking at the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center website, which is beautiful. Oh my gosh, those photos of those wolves, and you also have fox. I think there's also coyote. Is that the center too? Yeah.
We do have coyotes. We have two different enclosures. We actually have a very social coy dog, which is coyote and a little bit of dog. His name is Ringo Starr. He's actually one of my favorites. And Ringo, what we like about him, when people get to go in and get pictures taken, and he is walked with his mate, who is actually 100% dog. She's a husky. But we can explain to people that coyotes are not as bad as people think. You know, if I was walking my two dogs, I am, by the way, a Beagle Rescue owner, I would not be as intimidated with one coyote. You know, a pack of coyotes is different. There's a little bit of fear there. But they are so important in our wildlife world because, as an example, a few years ago in Colorado Springs, there was a outbreak of the plague with some of our little, not raccoons, but more of our ground squirrels and birds and so forth. And coyotes are immune to getting that disease. So if they were to eliminate some of them that are infected, they're actually reducing the chance of your domestic animal catching any of these diseases. And so they really serve an incredible purpose, but unfortunately they're really, really misunderstood in the wild. And if you look on social media, there's so many states, and they have hunting coyotes and saving their pelts, and some barbaric things still go on because you're not hunting that animal for food. You're just trying to eliminate the animal.
Right.
So we like to tell everyone the importance of them in the ecosystem.
That's awesome. Yes, because you're right. They are not a very loved species, unfortunately, because People don't know any better. So we have to take a break, but I want to come back and talk a lot more about wolves and other wildlife. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Speaking of Animals. So, Diane, I saw on your website also that you guys just lost one of your longtime gorgeous wolves. Wow, the picture, I don't know if that photo has been like retouched, but wow, such a beautiful black with gorgeous eyes, a wolf. And what was his story?
Sure. His name is Amarak,
Amarak.
and the picture is not touched up. That is actually a picture of him on the
Wow.
website. And he was our first international rescued wolf. He was found roaming the streets of Colombia, and wolves are not native to South America.
Right.
So it is believed that he was bought illegally on the wildlife market
Oh,
and
God.
escaped his housing
Good for him.
because they are escape artists. And the Santa Fe Zoo in Medellin, Colombia, rescued him and took care of him for a year, and then reached out to the Wolf Center. And what happened was they realized he didn't belong in Colombia. He needed to be in a different weather climate, and they, even though it was hard for the staff and volunteers to part with him, they knew they had to put him first. So we welcomed this big, beautiful, handsome man into our pack, and he became a companion at the time to one of our female wolves. Her name was Coda, and he became also an ambassador for education about the illegal wildlife trade. His beautiful eyes, he loved to play, and he would, what we call London bridges, where you're standing and he would run in between volunteers playing. That's a favorite thing. I met him for the first time the day after he arrived in Colorado, and there had been a snowstorm. And I went in to meet him, and he was frolicking and running around. We played with toys, and right away you knew he was where he needed to be. Unfortunately, a few years ago, Coda did pass away, cross the bridge, and we know now, though, that they're together, and she and he are where they should be, together forever, and they're young, and they're running free.
Yes.
He was just, it's a big loss to us, as anybody who has animals in their lives know.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a very, very important part of the center, and his story was incredible. And on a side note, he was a great ambassador, and people loved to go in and spend time with him. He was notorious for wolf kisses and enjoyed his life until the very end, when unfortunately cancer hit him.
But like you say, he's with his little wolf wife, and
Yes,
wolves mate for life. So right, they're
they
back
do.
together.
And so in the wild, you have an alpha pair, and in the wild, that's the only pair that breeds, is female and male alpha. The male helps raise those pups, as do siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. It's like a massive family.
Mm-hmm.
But if the female, the mom, is out hunting, the father's in charge of taking care of those animals. And it is vice versa. He could be out hunting before the pups are old enough to leave the den, and also when they're very small but too young to learn how to hunt on their own. So it's one of the few species in the wild where mom and dad are raising the pups together, and that's really important. And when I talk about that only the alpha pair are the ones that breed, that is why you don't have diseases in the wolf population like you do in others. They don't overbreed. It's once a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like the female goes into heat like dogs and domestic dogs, but it's once a year. But if something happens to the alpha, it's not like another wolf just steps in. There's alpha and there's beta.
Huh.
And the beta do not breed.
So
in the wolf world,
uh-huh.
yes, they make it themselves, but that's also why you don't have, like I said, other species there might be inbreeding and so forth, and this is one breed that doesn't happen. But it's interesting when under our care. So when, for instance, with Amarak, when Coda passed away, he went into a very serious depression because that was supposed to be his mate for life.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't just accept another wolf to come in and say, hey, oh, this is great, we're now a couple.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while, and it depends on the animal for when they are ready to accept another
Aw.
male or female, as it is, back into their life.
You were saying like you can tell they're mourning, like the howl, like true howling that you
Yes,
can just tell
they
the
will
mourning.
have they have a very sad, mournful howl, and it's usually started. Wolves. Let me backtrack. Wolves don't just howl at the moon. I know that's something that's been for years and years. But when they're mourning, it will be the animal who's surviving will howl as mourning for their mate that has been lost. The others will then join in howling, but they will lead the howling. And we did have one, his name is Kenai, and when his mate unexpectedly passed away, Makui, due to a genetic situation, it took quite a long time for him to come out of that sadness. He got a lot more attention, people went in, but he really missed her so much. And it was a while before he accepted another playmate.
Aw,
And
so
he
sweet.
would look for her, and sometimes it seemed like a domestic dog. It might even affect their appetite, but
Yeah.
it really changes their life.
Aw, well, it's such cool work that you're doing, and it's interesting to hear some of what's going on there and some of the work that you're doing. I know the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center does tours. You have all you're part of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. So this place is the real deal. It's not this is. I would love someday I'm going to come visit you and come see the place. For now, could
I would
you give folks the website to go check it out?
certainly, if you go into, and it's easy even to just Google Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center, and it is tours at wolfeducation.org. You go right into that. We have it broken out between breakdown on talking about tours because we have special events. We have awesome tours. The best one is the full moon tour, which will be the weekend year-round of the full moon. And that is a lot of fun because your tour ends in the dark, high above the back of the center where you're looking down and hearing the valley. And all our tours end with a wolf howl. But the nice thing about the full moon tour is the fact that you can be up high enough where you can hear all the different howls. Because believe it or not, they may all be wolves, but they have different howls based on whether they're an Arctic wolf or a gray wolf or a Mexican wolf. We also are the only sanctuary that has two highly endangered red wolves, and that is quite an honor for us to have. And it is because of all the hard work of Darlene and all of the staff and volunteers over the years that do such an awesome job taking care of our animals.
Oh, it definitely sounds like it, and I'd love to hear more. So maybe we'll have to have another show with you. So, and then we also have to do a show about your beagles, and you should just come back here and hang out with me. Well,
I'd love it.
Diane, thank you so much. I really appreciate. I know you took time from work today to be on the show, so I really appreciate it. And we're gonna let you go as we go to another commercial. Thanks, Diane.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the time. Have a great day, everyone.
Welcome back to Speaking of Animals. So I have an event that I want to tell everybody about. We're going to have a dog show, kind of the Bunnell, Flagler County version of the Westminster Dog Show. It's going to be all shelter dogs, and it's Sunday, July 12th from 2 till 4. Everybody know where the new Nexus Center is? It's on Commerce Boulevard in Bunnell, right by the new city buildings. Beautiful. It's the new library, and I was there the other day. It's beautiful, beautiful building. So we're going to have a bunch of shelter dogs. Angel, if Angel hasn't been adopted yet, Angel will be part of the dog show. And then we're going to have anybody that adopts that day. The adoption fee is sponsored. Thank you to Seagate Homes. So it's going to be a fun event. We'll have refreshments and free giveaways and, just sort of a fun Sunday afternoon. So hopefully everybody come. It's free admission. You get free stuff and maybe even a free adoption. You never know. So we look forward to that. Thank you, everybody that's listening today. Thank you to WNZF for the opportunity, and we will talk again next week.